Okay, so here I am, day one. It's about 10 o'clock on day one of my juice fast, so I have a good accounting of how the day went. Last night, before the beginning of day one, I had a big meal. I had my last supper. That's what it felt like. It was like, this is your last chance to eat all this good food. And I made a dish of green beans, cauliflower, cheese sauce with tomatoes, fresh garden stewed tomatoes, sausage, bacon, vegetable both, and veggie burger. It was all just in this big, um, what would you call that, combination? And it was delicious, nicely spiced with a little sriracha, really good stuff. And I ate. It was so good, and I was thinking, this is all I'm going to be able to eat for, like 7, 8 days, and just chow down. And also, I wanted to get rid of a lot of food so that I wouldn't be tempted um, to have it, like a little sausage. And I did want to finish up the green beans and the cauliflower because they don't juice very well. And the cheese, no, not eating any cheese. And I did. I finished it up, and after I ate it, it was very good, and I was full, and I was not really uncomfortably full, but full. So that thought came to mind: have an ice cream bar, one of those Yazoo ice cream bars. And I realized when the thought came that that was part of the syndrome of being really full, and for some reason my mind says have something else. And the other thought came, no, you're full. Sit with this and let it subside. Just rest with this enjoyable fullness of this wonderful meal that you had, and just don't, don't gild the lily here. Just, you've had enough. So that's what happened. I did that, and last night before I went to bed, I had apple cider, hot apple cider, which was really good. After time passed and I was getting ready for bed. And in fact, I'm having apple cider now too. That's part of my. I've decided it's fall, and I'm going to allow myself before I go to bed to have hot apple cider, which is cheating, but with cinnamon in it, it's okay. It's very rewarding, and it's I pretty much know how to manage this and still have successful results. So I weighed in this morning at 123.8, and I really, after last night's meal and a lot of indulgence in the past few days, I was thinking I was going to tip the scales, but I didn't, and it was good. That was good. That was a good thing. So I started off on the right foot, and I got up and had some green tea. I didn't want to have coffee because I like my coffee with cream and sugar, and I'm not doing cream. So for me, coffee without cream is not very appetizing. So I had, I like the little caffeine placebo or whatever it is lift in the morning. So I had a nice cup of green tea, and I was hungry, so I started juicing. I juiced carrot juice, apple juice, lemon, ginger, and celery, and it was very good. Then I went about my day. I was doing this and that and the other thing. Time passed, a couple hours, and this happened and that happened, and I realized I was really hungry, and I was going to color my hair. I colored my hair because my roots were showing. I thought, you really got to nip this in the bud. So I was going to color my hair. I was getting ready to do that, and I thought, no, you can't. You've got to go out and get some juice. So I went out to the juice bar that is in the, it's actually the convention center. We call it the Art Center. It's Arts Convention. It's also like administrative for the town and everything. It's a really nice place. And I drove over there, I walked in the building, I saw all these people sitting at tables eating food off of these metal trays, and it smelled really good. It was either Mexican or I think it might be Ethiopian. I had heard there was an Ethiopian restaurant in there, or I don't know. I don't know what it was, but it looked really good. And I just went up to the I went up to the counter, and I knew it was closed because the metal thing was drawn. But I couldn't help myself. It was just like I just had to walk up and look at it, and there was a sign on the metal door, and it said close an account of sickness. Oh boy. So no juice bar, and I hope this, I don't know if he's going to get better soon or not, but No juice for Carolyn, no prepared juice. So then I had to go to Walmart because I had to get some juice. I really couldn't wait, and I was going to get some nice cold press bottles. And I really didn't want to go shopping when I was that hungry, but I had no choice at that point. So I went over there and I did my shopping. I got my, vegetables. I got a nice juice, a nice lemon uh, device to squeeze lemons because I've been wasting a lot of lemons with not really having a good device to squeeze them. And I got it for no, how much was that? I think it was $2.50 for a really nice lemon juicer. I needed toilet paper, of course, and I needed, just got kombucha. I got 3 different cold pressed juices, lots of vegetables, and then I was looking for the fruit fly traps, and they were out. And I was going all around the store because they keep them sometimes with the canning, sometimes with the pesticides, and but I looked on the shelf at the pesticides, and I read the little fine print, and no, they were out. And that makes sense because this is canning time and everybody needs the fruit fly traps. I'm not the only one that has to keep them under control. So then I decided to go to Orscheln's, and they didn't have any. They were out, or never had any, but they didn't have any. And then I went over to True Value, and they were out. They had them, and they were out. He had the box. It was empty. Once again, canning season, so it was out. And there is some kind of home preparation you can do with apple cider vinegar, and I'm going to have to look into that, some kind of thing. And that's basically what the traps are, is apple cider vinegar. So I'll try to get that together if I have a problem. But I decided that in order to, not have a problem, I would try to keep the kitchen scrupulously clean. Because I did have fruit flies this morning after my carrot juicing. Quite a few. I don't have any right now that I can see, but that doesn't mean anything. It means that they're they're hiding. So never far enough away. So what I did was I got my steam cleaner out, and I steam cleaned the juicer, the counters, the sink. Really cleaned it really, really well, because there is this residue. If you don't steam clean these things or use really hot water, put them in a dishwasher, which I don't have, and they still have residue in them. So this was a good solution, and that's really the best way to do it anyway. It's just prevention. Just keep your kitchen clean. So I did that, and I decided that every time I start to juice, I will plug in my steam cleaner. It's a really nice device. I got it at Aldi's, and has a nozzle on it, and it's just very effective. And I really love using it because it's obviously very non-toxic. It's not abrasive. It's effective. It's all get out, and it's just steam, and it's really a nice little handy tool. So let's see. So as I was driving home from Walmart and doing all that fruit fly, looking for that stuff, I had a nice orange juice, and that kept me, once I have just a couple sips of orange juice, I'm good. It's just, I can get really, ravishingly hungry. The other thing I want to report is today I was very aware of my ability to breathe. It's continuing. It's getting even more. I think that as my sinuses clear up even more, because I think it's cumulative, the less time and the more time I have away from wheat, the more time I have with clean sinuses. It's just miraculous. I mean, it's just a wonderful thing. Who knew? I just certainly didn't. So I was just appreciating that during the day. And let's see, what else did I do? Oh yeah, I colored my hair. Then I had to go to the rec center because I go there to, kind of condition my hair and whatnot afterwards, and took care of that. And then I went over to Hy-Vee because we're having a party for our friend Tim tomorrow night. It's his birthday today, actually, but we're going to have a cheesy movie and cheesy dip party. And I wanted to get him 2 little cupcakes. And first I went to the bakery earlier in that day, but the bakery's closed. So Hy-Vee has cupcakes, and I went over there and was able to get just two little kind of mini cupcakes, but good enough for candles and a little celebration. And those guys are not real big on cake, especially. They're more big on dips and chips and stuff. So, but just the acknowledgement. And, I have two little cupcakes in my house, and, I'm not tempted. I don't even feel really very hungry today. That was another thing. Other than just being famished because I, really needed to have some juice. I'm not feeling like I thought I would feel a tremendous separation from food and a loss and a longing and, all that good food I was eating. But not at all. I'm not hardly hungry. I mean, I feel great and I don't miss food and I don't think about it and I'm good. I'm juicing now. So I went to meditate, and after I got home, I made up a wonderful tomato juice, a really big, tall tomato juice, and with Gary's tomatoes from his garden. At first I tasted it, it was pretty good, and then I remembered, oh, you need to add horseradish and mustard. Oh, man, it makes it so good. And I put salt in it, because salt, I'm a real total salt fiend, and, I know that if I don't have any salt for the whole juice fast, I feel deprived. And that's really the way to go, because if you don't have any salt, your body releases a lot of fluid, and it's very cleansing, and it's good for you. But, it's the salt salt in the tomato juice that makes me feel, very satisfied, and that I, don't have any problem continuing. Whereas that bland kind of, without the spices and without all the fixings, it just, I know I feel deprived. It's just too bland. So I had a big tall tomato juice and then a little more. And then Gary and I went out. We walked around town. It was Oktoberfest, but it was really more like Country and Western Fest. And I think we got there a little late. There weren't a lot of people there, but it was fun because it was cool and it was fun to walk around town. And I wasn't hungry. Gary had a nice taco from a nice taco truck, and I wasn't even at all tempted. And, I came home, and, I was thinking, well, you can go home and have some more of your tomato juice because I have a lot left over that I can have tomorrow. But I didn't even want any. First of all, I wasn't in the mood for tomato juice. And then I just made my hot apple cider. Cheers. Which is really good. So that's it for day one. I feeling really good in my body. Very trim. Oh, that's right. I saw somebody at True Value. I haven't seen in about 8 months, and I had my coat on, my fall jacket, and my pants, and he said, "You've lost a lot of weight." And it's like, yeah, I guess if you haven't seen me for 8 months, even in a jacket, like a fall jacket, you can tell I've lost weight. And he's a thin guy, So I looked at him and said, "Yeah, you're looking pretty thin. You're lean yourself." And that's a good thing at our age. He's in his 70s. It's like, it's actually a good thing. Yeah, it's healthy. I mean, they've done all these tests with mice that the ones that are, the thinnest live the longest. So put that in your pipe and smoke it. But anyway, so my body is meant to be very thin. I'm looking for my goal weight, which is, like 118. I'd love to settle in the high teens. I think that's really what my body's designed for. I'm a skinny girl in a fat world. And, I just feel like I'm not carrying anything unnecessary around. And it's the way to go. And juice fasting is, not only did it allow me to know that I'm allergic to wheat, which is a massive monumental discovery, it also allows me to get my weight down. It's always a tool I can pick up. I could be a speed freak and take amphetamines. That's another way you can do it. Yeah. Or you could, just starve yourself and